Decay 2 if you're just starting out. 1. Vehicles. Now, you may think that this is quite obvious, but it's not always obvious to some people. When using vehicles, make sure try and get them back to your base in as good a condition as you possibly can. The reason I'm saying this is because once you get them back to your base, no matter how many vehicles you've got there, it helps you out, because unfortunately the storage capacity on most bases is pretty poor. So this will allow you to create extra storage space by using vehicles outside of your base to put resources in that you can then put into your base once the storage capacity becomes available. So for instance, on one of my bases I've had sort of between 6 and 8 different vehicles parked outside, all of which have got various resources in them that I use purely for that purpose and nothing else. The other thing is obviously when you find your vehicles, make sure that you check the boots or the trunks, depending on if you're American or not. Reason being, most vehicles that are drivable will have some form of either fuel or resources in the boot, so it's worth picking them up and bringing them back with you to your base. Number 2, outposts. What, again, this may be obvious to some veteran State of Decay players, but when you're looking at placing outposts, make sure you place them in areas where you know you're going to be scavenging, basically. The reason for this is twofold. Firstly, it gives you a drop-off point for any of the loot that isn't a resource, basically, so you can keep going back and forth to that point and dumping off your guns, your melee weapons, your nuts and bolts, because we all get plenty of them, don't we? And also, if you're spending a considerable amount of time in any particular area, what it does is it allows you to switch out your character as and when that character gets tired. So you haven't got to go all the way back to your base just to change a character or to drop off any extra loot that you've got available.
Gotta be quieter.
Right. Fuel. Number 3. When you're travelling out and about in a vehicle, whether it's to go and destroy a plague heart or whether it's to move into an area to scavenge, make sure that you carry at least 1 fuel can, whether you put it in the trunk or the boot, or whether you keep it on you, whichever you prefer, but just make sure you keep one on you, just in case something happens that prevents you from either finding fuel or that you run out of fuel and perhaps end up in a situation where you really could do with jumping in that vehicle and getting the hell out of the area you're in. I'm telling you that from experience. I've had a few situations where that's happened and the car has run out of fuel right as it rolled into the middle of a big horde or two. So just bear that in mind. Number 4, plague hearts. I know some people may disagree with this, but I prefer to use explosives to take out the plague hearts. It's fast, it's efficient, it's quick, and to be honest, I don't find explosives to be that much use against any other creature. Primarily because you've got to throw them. The zombies tend to move quick enough to avoid them, but with a plague heart, it's a static target. It's not going to move. It's there. Use them. One of my favourite little things that I do with the plague hearts is I'll use the whistling mines. So you place a couple of them down by it, back up, shoot the heart, and then wait for the blood plague zombies to come charging in. Head straight for the whistling mines because they're making a noise, thus detonating them and taking out the plague heart at the same time. It's quite satisfying, let me tell you. Okay, finally, survivors. Now, survivors on State of Decay 2 are fairly easy to come by in comparison to State of Decay 1. In State of Decay 1, you really had to struggle to get people interested in joining your community. That, for me, is certainly not the case in State of Decay 2. There are more than enough survivors that want to join you. So, when you've only got a limited amount of space, it's okay to be choosy over which ones you take and which ones you keep. Some will have skills that will be relevant and helpful for your situation. Others won't. And what I'm suggesting to you is that it's okay to say no to those survivors. If they're not going to bring anything to the table, just don't accept them. And if you've already accepted them because you just needed the numbers to get whichever base it is that you're after, don't be afraid to get rid of them. You know, I mean, you can exile them, or, you know, they can take a long walk and just keep looking at the flowers. However you wish to deal with it, do so, because at the end of the day, you've got a limited amount of space, and if you need somebody that's got computers or auto mechanics or what have you, you're not serving your community by keeping people who've got skills which are perhaps irrelevant, or you've already got somebody with those skills, with that particular skill set, so it's not really worth keeping them in that regards. Anyway, I hope that has been helpful for some of the new players that are coming into the game. You enjoyed the video, hit like and subscribe, and then hopefully I'll be back with another video in a couple of days. Hope you're enjoying the game, and that is me out.